This video shows you how to explain the size of a product and relate fraction and decimal equivalents to multiplying a fraction by 1. The big idea with that is our fractional 1, where we have a number such as 3/3, which is also the same as 5/5, or any number over itself, because we know that any number over itself is the same as 1. And we've already talked about that in class, but we're going to use that as we're working through these numbers and problems to make it a little bit easier to work with them. Let's look at the first problem. We're looking at 2/2 of 3/4. Now, 2/2 is our fractional 1. And one way we can work with this is to draw that area model. When I do that, you see that I have 2/2 split horizontally and quarters split vertically. Now I only need 3/4. We don't need all 4. So I'm going to cross out this section. Okay? And then looking at it, I have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 1/2 and 2/2. Now if I count all of those up, we see that I have 6 pieces, and that in one whole there are 8 pieces. So I have 6/8, which is the same as 3/4. All that I did is I took that and multiplied it by 2/2, which is 2 over 2, which is the same as 1. Okay, this is what it would look like. Remember, if we multiply fractions, we go straight across. 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 2 is 8. So 6/8 is the same as 3/4 times that fractional 1, and this is just a visual representation. Try solving this one on your own. 4/4 of 2/3. Use a area model as well as multiplying using the algorithm. When I solved it, here's what it looks like. I did my fourths horizontally and my thirds vertically. I have 2/3, so I got rid of that third. Okay, I have a full third here and a full third here, which is in blue. And then I did 4/4 horizontally, and I have 8 parts out of 12 total parts, which is 8/12, which is the same as 2/3. Again, I can multiply that across to check my work. 2 times 4 is 8, 3 times 4 is 12, so I have 8/12 both times. Now remember, when we have a problem, we can look at it multiple ways. If we have a number like 1/5 times 2/2, we can multiply it across, or we can turn it into a decimal. So see what it would look like as a fraction and see what it would look like as a decimal. Okay. As a fraction, we can multiply it straight across and we get 2/10, which as a decimal is the same as 0 and 2/10, or we can write it in word form. Another thing that we could do is if we had 1/5 times 20 over 20, another fractional 1, we would have 20 1/100ths, which is the same as 0 and 20 hundredths. Okay? Remember that 2/10 and 20 hundredths are the same value once you simplify.